Thank you. As people awaken to the Liberal Labor uniparty facade, polls show the political status quo is changing and ending. The one thing I want everyone to remember is that Australia's economic and environmental destruction is based on the psychopathic United Nations criminal, Maurice Strong. It matters because all Australians are suffering unaffordable energy prices, cruel cost of living and family-crushing house prices and rents. The Howard Liberal National Government started this dishonest madness. It stole farmers' property rights to comply with the UN's 1997 Kyoto Protocol. It imposed its renewable energy target and proposed the first policy for a carbon dioxide tax, an emissions trading scheme to make Maurice Strong a billionaire. Energy prices affect every aspect of our lives and lifestyle. It's the foundation of modern civilisation and international competitiveness. In a recent Senate inquiry, Minister Chris Bowen's Department of Climate Change and Energy could not provide me with scientific proof climate is changing. They deferred to the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the UN body that Maurice Strong spawned. The UN IPCC provides no hard data as proof. It guesses likelihoods and confidence levels to fraudulently imply statistical rigour where there is none. The department then revealed it has no specific measured policy basis for transition to unaffordable solar, wind and batteries under Maurice Strong's UN Agenda 21 Sustainable Development Goals. No specific impact of human carbon dioxide as basis for policy. None. Confirming no cost-benefit analysis, no evaluation of policy options, no business case, no plan, no tracking implementation. We are not transitioning in this country. Minister Chris Bowen is blindly driving us off a cliff at a cost of $1.9 trillion for nothing. Australians now suffer the world's most stupid and highest electricity prices. Meanwhile, President Trump in America uses real science to restore affordable hydrocarbon fuels, coal, oil and natural gas. My team has 24,000 data sets from science agencies worldwide, including our own Bureau of Meteorology and CSIRO. These show no change in climate. Not temperature, not rainfall, storm frequency, severity or duration, drought, ocean temperature, extreme weather. Just ongoing, inherent natural variation in cycles that warm, cool, warm, cool. Maurice Strong was a Canadian oil magnate who in 1972 started the UN Environmental Program, UNEP. 6 months later, he manipulated and schemed his way to be its head. In 1976, UNEP fabricated science to ban the insecticide DDT that had eradicated malaria in the West. After 40 to 50 million deaths, Indians, Asians and Africans died needlessly of malaria. In 2006, the UN restored DDT's use. The world's list of mass killers is Chairman Mao, 60 million deaths, Maurice Strong, 40 to 50 million deaths, Joseph Stalin, 40 million, Adolf Hitler, 20 million. In 1980, Maurice Strong started systematically entrenching bogus claims of future climate catastrophe due to carbon dioxide from human activity, power stations, industry, transport, travel, animal farming. In 1988, he formed the UN's political climate body, the IPCC, and fraudulently proclaimed it scientific. His purpose was to corrupt climate science, to mislead and scare people worldwide with unfounded fear. For example, in its second science report in 1995, scientists concluded they could find no evidence of human carbon dioxide affecting climate. Yet the IPCC's Ben Sander, who is still in the IPCC, single-handedly reversed that to say they did. All 6 UN science reports rely on distortion and fraud. Why? Maurice Strong was a founding director of the Chicago Climate Exchange, trading carbon dioxide credits, a corrupt global carbon dioxide tax, to make its directors billionaires, and to provide the UN with ongoing revenue independent of member nation grants and guaranteeing revenue for his ambitions of global governance. Maurice Strong then built paths and systems for climate prostitutes stealing subsidies for solar and wind. When American law enforcement wanted Maurice Strong for illegal water trading and the UN's oil for food scandal, he exiled himself to China, a major beneficiary of the West's climate and energy insanity. In his report for the UN, the Club of Rome's Maurice Strong stated, quote, "In searching for a new enemy to unite us, being humans globally, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine and the like would fit the bill." A scaremonger, a lying scaremonger. In 1992, UN Earth Summit Secretary General Maurice Strong, there he is again, said, quote, "It is clear that current lifestyles and consumption patterns of the affluent middle class, involving high meat intake, consumption of large amounts of frozen and convenience foods, use of fossil fuels, ownership of motor vehicles, small electrical appliances, home and workplace air conditioning, and suburban housing are not sustainable. The report said human activity caused all these dangers and needed a moral response, a global response. Maurice Strong stated his life's aims as deindustrialising Western civilization and putting in place an unelected socialist global governance. In 1992, Paul Keating's Labor government signed UN Agenda 21 that pushes 17 so-called Sustainable Development Goals to control every aspect of every person's life globally. John Howard's Liberal national government accelerated and entrenched implementation of UN Agenda 21, including his 2007 Water Act, his energy transition now destroying what had been the world's best electricity supply grid, stealing farmers' property rights and laying the foundation for pushing Maurice Strong's policies across Australia. In 1996, one federal MP courageously exposed it all, Pauline Hanson. In 2013, South Australian MP Anne Bressington detailed the UN Agenda 21 fabricating bogus crises blamed on humans. Maurice Strong said, quote, "The enemy is humanity itself. They hate you, and they want it to control every aspect of our lives, lifestyles and society, and transfer wealth from we the people to globalist climate prostitutes." An extraordinarily clever and scheming Maurice Strong manipulated national leaders to adopt his programs to save the planet and humanity from humans. In my first Senate speech in 2016, I called out UN Agenda 21 and called for Australia to exit the UN. I'm pleased to say that now that's one nation policy. We want the people of Australia to regain control over their lives and over our nation, and to keep for Australians the billions of dollars currently being transferred to climate and energy whores, stealing your money in subsidies, grants, taxes, enabled by people in this Senate. As your financial position goes backwards, Labor, Greens and moderates in the Liberals drive social policies to attack and divide you as colonisers, degendered and disrespected. Maurice Strong drove those attacks with policies to smash both foundations of human civilization, the family and the nation-state. Maurice Strong died in 2015, 1 month before his UN Paris Agreement was signed and his legacy UN Net Zero program targets were set. Targets to which the Labor, Liberals, Teals and Greens all remain committed. They silently and dishonestly impose UN restrictions, fraud and burdens on Australians to govern with invalid edicts from New York and Geneva. One nation will remove Maurice Strong's psychopathic grip over Australia. Instead, one nation will return you to affordable energy, affordable living, affordable housing, lifestyle choices making families strong again, industry with breadwinner jobs, and a future with abundance built on realising Australia's true potential. One nation is changing Australia's political status quo. One nation will abolish the Department of Climate Change, leave the UN Paris Agreement and the UN Kyoto Protocol, stop UN Net Zero and all associated regulations, schemes and spending to save more than $30 billion a year in duplication and waste. $30 billion a year that we will use to build infrastructure that benefits everyday Australians, starting with Queensland's Uranda Dam irrigation project and a new Greenfields hospital in Albury. A vote for one nation will end Maurice Strong's psychopathic, criminal control over our country and put Australia first. Thank you.